Many WNBA fans are calling out the referee.
This could be one of the biggest referee controversies the WNBA has ever witnessed. One moment, Caitlin Clark was dominating the league, driving record-breaking viewership numbers and bringing packed crowds to arenas across the country. The next, she was forced to leave the game while dealing with an injury that many believe could have been prevented if the officials had properly handled the situation. Now, reports suggest that one of the referees involved has been suspended, while new footage is raising even more questions about what happened. Fans are pointing to missed calls, officials appearing to ignore players during timeouts, and what they see as a pattern of unfair treatment. The backlash has exploded, with many supporters accusing the league of having an anti-Clark bias. The criticism became so intense that even Indiana Fever head coach felt the need to address the situation publicly.
I thought she got fouled. I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, who has been battling through injuries and continuing to play despite being hurt, finally reached her breaking point. Even while sidelined, she confronted the officials with notes in her hand, making it clear that she was frustrated and wanted answers. But this situation is being viewed as much bigger than a few questionable calls. Critics are arguing that this reflects a deeper problem, something more consistent and concerning. The impact could extend far beyond a single matchup. So, what actually happened behind the scenes? Why was one official reportedly taken off assignments? Is the WNBA stepping up to protect its biggest attraction? Or is it allowing her to take the criticism and physical punishment while benefiting from the attention she brings? The footage, the statistics, and the reaction from fans are all adding fuel to a controversy that refuses to go away. Before diving deeper into the missed calls, injury concerns, and growing referee backlash, make sure to like the video and subscribe. You won't want to miss what we're about to reveal. Let's get started. In one widely shared clip, 3 referees appear to walk right past Caitlin Clark without making eye contact or acknowledging her as she and her teammates attempt to communicate during a timeout. One official even turns away from her completely, creating a moment that quickly became one of the most talked about incidents of the season. Think about that for a second. The player who has become the biggest name in the WNBA appeared to be ignored and brushed aside. And according to many fans, this was not just an isolated incident. It was part of a larger pattern. Now reports suggest that one of those officials has been removed from assignments or suspended. But for Clark, many believe the frustration and damage had already been done. Then came a crucial moment against the New York Liberty. With the game hanging in the balance and millions watching, Clark attacked the basket and made contact with Natasha Cloud. The contact looked obvious to many viewers, but the whistle never came. Clark immediately turned toward the officials, visibly frustrated and demanding an explanation. Her teammates backed her up, but the referees showed little reaction, standing firm and showing no urgency to address the situation. A viral comment from a fan perfectly captured the frustration many people felt. Even a 4-year-old watching the play recognized it as a foul. That single moment became more than just a missed call. It became the spark for a much larger debate. One commentator described it as selective officiating, arguing that certain players are being treated differently when it comes to calls and protection on the court.
Referees just exposed their hand so bad, bro. I mean, they just didn't care no more. They didn't care. The world was watching how bad the cause was. They didn't care at all. They was going to get their issue off against the Fever no matter what. And I'm here to tell you, that's exactly what went down, bro. They have an agenda against Caitlin Clark.
Another example that many fans described as part of a troubling pattern. And what makes the situation even more frustrating is that one missed call could have completely changed the result of that possession, and perhaps even impacted the direction of the entire WNBA season. But there was another detail that many people didn't notice at first. Caitlin Clark had been dealing with something much more serious behind the scenes. Her leg, specifically her quad, had clearly been bothering her. Replays showed her using a heating pad on her thigh during games, fighting through discomfort, adjusting between plays, and continuing to compete despite the pain. Eventually, the reality became official. Clark was dealing with a quad strain. For the first time this season, Caitlin Clark was forced to miss a game, sitting out against the Washington Mystics on Wednesday night. The impact was significant because this was a player who had built a remarkable streak of availability. From high school through college and into the professional level, she had gone nearly 8 years without missing a game. Now she was on the sidelines, and many fans argued that it wasn't simply because of bad luck or an unavoidable injury. They believe repeated uncalled contact and a lack of protection from officials contributed to the situation. Many fans called the injury a result of poor officiating rather than bad luck. But Caitlin Clark refused to stay silent. Even while sidelined, she confronted the referees at halftime with notes in her hand, demanding accountability. Now, Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White has also spoken out, calling the recent officiating egregious. She pointed to a massive 31-point free throw gap, saying her team has been attacking the basket but receiving little respect from officials. According to White, the issue goes beyond missed calls. It's about fairness and protecting the integrity of the game.
Every single game, WNBA players, fans, coaches are all complaining about the referees, and they have shown that they're not going to change anything because the referees continue to be horrible.
Stephanie White's comments only added more fuel to the controversy. Fans reacted, creators spoke out, and more people began paying attention to what they believed was happening. Then came the financial impact. Before her injury, Caitlin Clark was the leading MVP favorite, with sportsbooks placing her at the top. After she was sidelined, her odds shifted dramatically, reflecting the uncertainty around her availability and value. But Clark's influence goes far beyond betting. Her arrival caused a massive surge in Fever-related interest, boosted hotel bookings in Indianapolis, and sent ticket prices soaring across the league. Even ESPN moved a preseason WNBA game to television because of Clark's popularity, attracting 1.3 million viewers, numbers rarely seen in basketball broadcasts. The message was clear. One player was creating a level of attention and economic impact that transformed the league. And now, Caitlin Clark is temporarily out of action. But many believe the impact of this situation will last much longer. The conversation has shifted from simply being about injuries and tough competition to questions about deeper issues within the league. Fans and commentators are analyzing every moment, with some arguing that the officials were simply following the direction of league leadership. Others believe the missed calls were more than mistakes. They were a sign that Clark was not receiving the protection she deserved. The frustration comes from the belief that the league knows exactly how valuable Clark is, from increased revenue and merchandise sales to record-breaking viewership numbers. Yet many are asking, if she brings so much attention and success to the WNBA, why isn't she being better protected on the court?